Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Sunshine. Today we're going to look at the new Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. I have two shades here to discuss with you, show you swatches, give you a wear test. I have a few other new things too. A lot of new makeup has come out right at the beginning of the year. I picked up a few things. We are going to try them on, wear them all day, and see how they perform on my mature skin. About me, my skin is normal. It's not dry, it's not oily, it's kind of right in between. I don't have a lot of dryness and I don't have a lot of oils, especially in the winter. In the summer, I can get oily, and in the winter, I can get dry, but as of right now, normal, mature skin. I also picked up a new shade of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I got the shade Fair. I am going to show you how this applies to my skin. Also picked up the new Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Contour in the shade Mellow. We are also going to try out one of Patrick Ta's new blush shade. Only picked up one. I got the shade She's Seductive. We're also going to try out the new Gucci mascara. This is the Full Fan Effect Volume and Curl Mascara. And lastly, we are trying out a new to me Merit matte lipstick in the shade Court. I've never tried the matte formula from Merit, and somebody suggested I give one a try. So here we are. Okay, so I have two shades of this. The shade selection is a little questionable. It's really hard for me to figure out what shade I was. They don't have any really light, warm shades. They're all neutral to cool. I'm very warm. I don't have any coolness in my skin tone whatsoever, and so a lot of neutrals will pull pink. First, I got two in and put it on, and it was an okay match. A little too pinkish, and it oxidized and got very, very dark. Wore really well. It just wasn't the right shade. So then I got 1.5 in. I have not worn this yet. This is what we're going to, I think, what we're going to wear today. So that is 1.5 in. 1.5 in looks way warmer than 2 in. 2 in is very kind of pinky peach, and these do oxidize. I don't know if 1.5 in oxidizes. I'm assuming it will, because 2 in definitely oxidized. It oxidized at least a shade deeper. So yeah, you can see the difference in the shades. 2 in has more pink in it. It's a little cooler than 1.5 in. I think 1.5 in is going to be a better undertone match for me. Shade 2 in stood out as not a shade match on my very warm light skin. We are going to try 1.5 in. I'm going to use my Merit Great Skin to prime my skin. This is a very thin, like oily serum. Have to be really careful when you squirt it because it kind of explodes out of the container. I have spilled it on myself more than once. There aren't any warm toned light shades. I think the first warm tone shade is 2W. I have both shades swatched here. I'm going to show you how they deepen as the video goes on. I think you can see where 2 in is kind of drying down, how it's getting darker right there. 1.5 in looks to have a little bit more neutrality and a little bit more warmth. I think it's going to be a better shade match for me. Outside of the shade match, I did really like the formula. For being a matte formula, it's not super drying. On my very mature 51-year-old skin, it wore really well. So we're going to see how it does today. I'm going to do a wear test. We're going to see how it holds up. I'm going to use my Exa Complexion Sponge to blend this out. I know from using this the first time, you don't need much. If I apply a lot of foundation, it looks like I'm wearing a lot of foundation. When I used this, I didn't even use a full pump for my whole face. I would say that's like half a pump, maybe a little bit more than half a pump. I think that's going to be plenty, but we'll see. You can see that the coverage on this foundation right off the bat is very, very good. Like I would call this a full coverage. That is the foundation blended out. To me, this is a full coverage. This is a much better shade match for me than 2 in. Undertones are just a little more warm and a little more neutral in this one than 2 in. Especially as it starts to dry down, it gets really kind of orangey pink. Even after using only half a pump, I still went in with my sponge on the opposite side and picked up any excess. This is such a high coverage foundation that you can see it sitting on the skin if you use too much. I'm not trying to trick anybody into thinking that I don't wear makeup, but I just like for my makeup to blend in seamlessly with my skin. And I feel like using this very lightly does. It's a very perfected look. I am going to do just a little bit of concealer. I don't really need much because I kind of pulled that up just slightly under my eye. I'm going to use my Typology concealer. I have just been loving this lately. It's so nice. It looks so natural. If one of the six, that sounds crazy to say, but if one of the six shades matches you, one of six shades, that's insane. This is a fantastic concealer. Foundation and concealer are on. My skin looks absolutely flawless. I'm gonna do my brows real quick. I'm gonna use my Kulfi brow gel. Kind of speed through this part. This is probably boring. Is watching people do their brows boring? I can't tell. This Westman Atelier pencil makes it so easy. So fast and easy. This is in the shade Bart. I'm going to use this spoolie and brush through that real quick. Two new contours to try out. I can't decide which one I want to use today. Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour. I got this in the shade Fair. It's one of their new shades. That is a swatch of the Charlotte Tilbury Contour One Soft Pinch Contouring Liquid in Mellow. This is the Rare Beauty new contour. Oh my gosh, this is huge. You get 0.503 ounces of product in here. Half an ounce, over half an ounce of product in here. Now, to be fair, in the Charlotte Tilbury Contour One, you get a lot in here too. You get 0.4 ounces. So you get a lot, but you get more in here. I'm just curious to see how these shades compare. This is the Rare Beauty. This one is the Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury is warmer. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury today. I will use the Rare Beauty in my next video, which hopefully will be up very shortly after this one. I'm just going to dot that on the face. So that blended out so easily. It does have a little bit of warmth in it. So it's kind of like a bronzer on me, right? That shade is very pretty and that was so easy to blend out. I also have a new blush, Patrick Ta Double Take Cream Blush, and she's Seductive. This was the lightest shade. It's the most interesting shade to me. The red looked absolutely stunning, but there's just no way it would have worked on my skin tone. I've seen people make it work on fair to light skin, and I was just like, oh, I don't know. I have the Fui red blush, and I love that. Here's the powder, and this is the cream. Now, I have used Patrick Ta's blushes before and haven't been super impressed by them. The shades were just a little intense. This looks like a less intense blush shade. We are going to use this in the way that Patrick Ta suggests, which is powder first, then cream. Totally opposite to probably what we usually do, but we're going to try it. Get the fingerprints on that already. That's insane. I have not set my face, so we are going straight on to the foundation with this blush. And so far, so good. It's applying on top of it beautifully, really. Blend it out so easily. So perfectly. I'm going to put just a little bit on my eyelids to kind of tie everything together. I just like to do that. Super impressed by that. There is a swatch of the powder. There's a swatch of the powder and the cream. Both of those shades are stunning. I feel like you could wear either one. So I'm going to go in with the cream and put it on top of the powder. And we'll just see how that goes. It is a little more intense than I anticipated, but I think it's going to be fine. We're going to leave it like this for now, and I'm going to do a super quick eye look. I'm going to use the MAC Connect and Color palette Encrypted Kryptonite. I got this one because it has the shade Satin Taupe in it. Always been a fan of Satin Taupe, and I haven't owned it in so long, and I was like, I need that. I need Satin Taupe back in my life. I'm just going to pack this on the lid with my finger, blend it out into the crease, and pretty sure that's going to be my eye look. I'm going to blend that out with this shade right here called Power Mode. If you're watching this channel, I'm going to assume that you're close to my age or somewhere in the vicinity. And I know that you remember the hold that Satin Taupe had on all of us. I'm so glad that I have it back. I got this palette on MAC. It was on sale for like $23. And it has all of these shades. Nothing new here. I'm going to tightline with my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal in black. Use the MAC eyeliner. This is the brush tip eyeliner in brown. And we are going to try out the new Gucci mascara. This is what it is called. I tried to figure out how to pronounce it and failed miserably, and I don't want to embarrass myself. Packaging is beautiful, has a beautiful gold cap. All Gucci packaging is so pretty. This is no exception, although the tube is plastic. Lid does feel quite heavy. It's got a tiny little wand. These usually do really well on my lashes, so I am hopeful. Let's give it a go. Okay, wow. So right off the bat, it deposits a lot of product on the lashes. Okay, that builds very quickly. That was so fast, and it's very impactful. It's borderline clumpy. I don't hate that because I have such nothing lashes. At least you can see something there. If it wears well and does not flake, this could be a winner for me. I will probably wipe off the wand next time so that I'm not depositing so much. And that was one dip. I didn't go back in for the second eye, right? I just used what was on the wand for both eyes. And this is one coat. I feel like that is a very dramatic, very volumizing, very lengthening, very thickening formula. I mean, it's, like I said, borderline clumpy, but I don't hate it. This is just my first time trying it. Next time I would be a little more prepared and clean off the wand and make sure there wasn't too much product and maybe go try to get a fluttery look. But I like a dramatic look for every day. So I had somebody ask me to review the Merit matte lipsticks, and I am still planning to do that, right? Like to review more of them, but I went ahead and picked one up just because I've never even tried the formula before. I wanted to kind of get my head around it, see if it's any good or something that I would be interested in purchasing more than one of them to review or compare or whatever. I have used their satin lipsticks, just not their matte ones. I'm going to line my lips with my Freck Nude Muse lip liner. This is in the shade 04. Absolutely love this lip liner. It is so good. So impressed with these. This is the Merit Signature Lip Lightweight Matte Lipstick. I got the shade Court. I think it's going to be a shade that looks red on me. It's not red, but I think it's going to, like on me, it's going to look red. If I could open it. Here is the shade. Look at the bullet. So pretty. These lipsticks, the packaging on these lipsticks is so pretty. So that is the shade Court. Let's put it on. It looks red on me. Maybe a red with a little bit of coral. I personally love a good warm toned red. They're my favorite kind of reds. Cool tones on me will look pink or berry. It doesn't feel super slippy. That is really a pretty color. And I like the formula. I think for me, I might top it with a gloss just because I'm not a huge fan of matte lips. I feel like it can almost make me look a little mean sometimes. This shade works because it's not super dark and vampy on me. It's like a bright red, right? Like a happy red on me. It feels great. It's not enhancing my lip lines. It's smooth, very comfortable. So far, so good with that lipstick. I am just going to set just under my eyes and maybe my smile lines. Really don't feel like I need to set the rest of my face, but I usually do. I'm just going to set those areas. I'm very happy with how this looks so far. We're going to see how this wears. I will check back in a bit. I just want to do a quick natural light check-in. This is just me standing by the window. It's got some glow to it. If you're looking into this foundation expecting like a flat matte, I could see that you would be disappointed with this. It's not a flat matte. It's like a perfected satin finish. It's not settling in my lines and wrinkles. I have had it on about an hour and a half. I think it looks beautiful. I will do another check-in here in a bit. It has been about 4.5 hours, and I just wanted to do a natural light check-in outdoors. The foundation is holding up beautifully. Sorry about the hairs. It's windy out here. Yeah, it's windy and it's cold, but it's a good test of how it holds up in, you know, kind of harsh conditions. So it looks really great. It looks kind of the same. Still not settling into my lines. Yeah, so far so good. We'll see how it looks in about 3 or 4 more hours. I am back for an end of the night check-in. It's been about 7 hours, 7.5. The foundation to me looks the same. It hasn't changed. It might be very slightly glowier. It still has not settled in my smile lines, which is kind of amazing for me. Sorry, my hair is kind of crazy. My pores look smooth. It hasn't broken up anywhere. This foundation wears really, really well. I have just had really good luck with it. I did go on a walk this evening wearing the foundation. It was very windy, very cold. It didn't dry out or crack on my skin. The lipstick and lip liner have kind of worn off. I did eat, I have drank, I have not drank, but drank water. I even had cookies. It's fine. It wore off. My lips don't feel dry, which is nice for it being a matte formula. They still feel soft. I don't have any peeling or flakes, so that's good. The mascara. I was pretty impressed with the mascara on initial application, and it has worn really, really well. I mean, especially for me, having been outside, I walked a couple of miles and it was very, very windy. It hasn't smudged, it hasn't transferred. Overall, I am very happy with everything that I tried. I wanted to show these foundation shades now that they have kind of dried down. You can see that they oxidize quite a bit. I'm going to try to put up a side-by-side of a freshly applied swatch, when I first put these on and now, just so you can see the difference. This is everything new that we tried today. This is the foundation in shade 2N. This is 1.5N. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in Fair. This is the Rare Beauty Contour in Mellow. This is the Merit Lipstick in Court. And this is the Patrick Taw Blush. This is the powder. And this is the cream. Everything that I've tried today is absolutely stunning. Let's talk about this foundation. So the shade range is crazy. I mean, everything that I have seen, everybody that I've heard talk about it has talked about the shade range. I hope that those swatches help somebody who might be like my shade or close to my shade. Maybe that will help you determine what shade you need. For reference, in MAC, just because everybody knows MAC, I'm like an NC 15. In the summer, I'm an NC 20. So those, if that helps you gauge kind of where these colors lie. The wear of the foundation is fantastic. It wears so well. The coverage is fantastic. Let's talk about the pros of this foundation. First of all, the application is super easy. You do not need much. That would be my advice to you if you're trying this foundation. Use less than you think you need. I used half a pump. I didn't even use a full pump. When I first got this foundation, I did use a full pump. It just looked way too heavy on my skin. I ended up trying to take it off with a beauty blender. Even today, with the half a pump that I used, after I blended it out, I went back over it with a clean side of my sponge and just picked up anything that was left sitting on the skin. I think less is more with this foundation. I think that is the key. I think if you use a lot, it's going to look like you're wearing a lot of makeup. I personally do not like to look like I have a lot of heavy foundation on my skin. I am not out here trying to trick people into thinking I don't wear makeup. That's not at all what I'm about. I don't like for things to look heavy on the skin. And this doesn't, surprisingly, for as full coverage as it is. I look at everything 10 times magnification, blushes, bronze, everything. I look at everything up close, even my eyeshadows, just to kind of see what they do on the skin. This one does look like makeup, right? At 10 times magnification, you can tell that there's something on my face, but it does not look heavy or cakey. In fact, I've been testing so many new foundations. I think that the Hourglass Illusion looks more makeup-y on the skin than this one, and that one settles in lines faster than this one. There's no settling there. No settling on this side either. In fact, I feel like my lines look less noticeable today. Today is my first day wearing shade 1.5N. I have worn shade 2N. By the end of the day, it looks the same. It didn't get dry or greasy. It looked exactly the same at the end of the day as it did when I put it on. Now, I am a normal skin person, so I don't get oily through the day. I'm not a dry skin person. Some foundations make me drier by the end of the day. This one didn't. It wears great. It looks flawless. If you're looking for a very perfecting, very full coverage, comfortable matte, a non-drying matte, not only is it non-drying, it takes forever to set down. It's not sucking your skin dry. It's not like adhering to the skin and drying it out. I feel like the Hourglass kind of does. It doesn't dry you out. You almost feel it a little more than this. In my opinion, this is very lightweight. Now I use, like I said, I use a very small amount. You don't need much. It's so high coverage. You just need the smallest amount. I am very surprised. It is not the kind of it's not the kind of foundation that I would normally go for. This was intriguing to me just because of all the perfecting claims. And oddly enough, at my age, I am kind of enjoying a more perfected look, not a full coverage, heavy matte look, but like a more perfected look. This really gives me that, especially because I like to wear a red lip. I prefer a little bit more perfected look if I'm going to do a red lip. And I love a red lip. This foundation is a hit to me. Now, I have watched a lot of reviews. A lot of people have been unhappy with it because it makes them oily. It does not make me oily, but I am not oily right now. Maybe in the summer when my skin is a little oilier. I do live in a very humid climate, so I can see that being an issue in the summer. As of right now, this wears beautifully on me, and I am very, very, very impressed with it and very happy with it. And I love the flawless look that it gives me with very little product. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand, I love this. This is my first time trying the contour wand. I felt like it was just an overhyped product, and it's not. It blended out flawlessly. It didn't stick. It didn't dry down and leave you with splotches. You get 12 mils of product or 0.4 ounces. Like, that's a lot of product. I'm not a huge fan of the sponge tip, but in this case, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's very easy. I'm very happy with this. I'm so glad that I finally picked this up, and I love the shade. I love the application. I love how it looks on the skin. I didn't get a chance to try this out. I will. I've got 2 or 3 more foundation reviews coming. In fact, I think I have one coming tomorrow, and I will use this in that video, and I will show you the reason. This is the shade Mellow. It's the bottom contour shade. The top one is the Charlotte Tilbury, and it's like just a slightly cooler version. Online, it looks super warm. It's not. I would say neutral. It's not super cool, but it's much more neutral than the Charlotte Tilbury. Beautiful shade, and you get a ton of products. I'm excited to see how this wears. I can't really say much about it right now. I will definitely keep you posted on this. This Patrick Ta blush, this is so incredibly pretty. I'm so happy with this. You get the versatility of a powder or a cream or both. And today I used both. It's quite a bit more intense than I thought it would be based how this looked online and in swatches. It blended out so easily. Like I could sheer it out. You could wear more, you could wear less. This is beautiful. I really like this. I do also have the new Natasha Denona blush. I only picked up one of those. Only one of the shades really appealed to me. This was the only shade that looked like it might work for me. The others were far more intense, which is fantastic for so many people. But for me, I don't like to have a blush that's too much. I like to be able to build my blush. I like a more sheer, lighter blush that I can build up rather than trying to be very careful and not get too much. This was the only shade out of the new ones that was appealing to me. I'm so glad I picked it up because it is stunning. The Gucci mascara. Oh my goodness. It's a lot, right? It's almost borderline spider lash clumpy, but it's lifting my lashes. They look curled. You can see them because they're going up, right? Instead of straight out. I'm kind of a fan of this messy lash look. It's hard for me to get this look because my lashes are so puny. What determines if something is a fail or not for me is flaking and smudging. That is one thing that I cannot tolerate. I don't care how great a mascara makes my eyelashes look. If it smears and gets messy, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And lastly, the Merit lipstick. I went through a period where I really didn't wear lipstick. For years, I've been all about the lip gloss or the lip oil or the shiny, glossy, easy to apply things. And I still am. I am on the lipstick train. Oh, let me show you these. I picked up 2 of the new MAC re-releases. I got Stone and Yash. Okay, I know this video is not about MAC. Look at those beauties. Oh, can you see how pretty those are? I'm getting back on the lipstick train. This is stunning. The color is so much prettier than I thought it was going to be. It doesn't feel moisturizing. It's not drying out my lips. I'm just saying the finish of it is, it's a dry finish, right? Like Lisa Eldridge, her mattes, you can rub your lips together. They're still very slippy. They have that like silicone-y feel. I just had to Google. Merit does use silicones in their lipstick formulas, but they also have kaolin, like kaolin clay. So that might be what's giving it the kind of a dry feel. It, again, not drying. It's not drying, but it is a dry feel. It's very lightweight. Like it doesn't feel like there's anything on there. The Lisa Eldridge mattes, you can rub your lips together and you still feel it. Same with the MAC mattes, right? They're just a heavier silicone formula. This is very thin, and so it kind of feels like it's set down, but it's not. It's not, because it does transfer. I mean, not a lot. That's a very light amount of transfer, but it does transfer. I don't mind that though. I would rather something transfer and wear off and have to reapply it than it completely dry my lips out, because my lips are very dry. This is not dry. Shade Court is so pretty. It says warm brick. That's their shade description. And I do agree, but I feel like it's so much brighter than that. I feel like it's got a touch of coral in it that makes it a little more vibrant than a brick. Those are my thoughts on all of these new items. We have more coming. It's a very exciting time of year. Lots of new releases, lots of beautiful things. I haven't been super disappointed by anything. Some things I like more than others. Everything today is a hit to me. I'm not disappointed in any of this. I don't think that everybody is going to like everything, but that's the beauty of makeup, right? We all like different things. There's something for all of us. If you are looking for a full coverage, long wear, matte but not flat foundation, let's say a soft matte. But if you're looking for like a soft matte with full coverage, something that blurs your pores and makes you look very perfected, I think this is worth a look. It is $46, but like the Hourglass one is $58. It is the most expensive of all of the ones that I have been testing, the Hourglass one. This one's one of the least expensive of all of the ones that I've been testing. So, you know, there's that. But anyway, if you can find a shade, go into Sephora. Don't guess your shade online because it's probably not going to be right. But if you can find a shade you like, I recommend giving it a shot, even on mature skin. Like I said, I am 51 years old. I don't feel like it makes me look older. So that's a win in my book. Anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Clicking on this video, I really do hope that you will subscribe and stick around. And until next time, take care.